name is Leah Whitson, and I'm the executive director of DAWN. DAWN is an organization that works to reform U.S. foreign policy in the Middle East. We carry out research, advocacy, and we're focused on accountability to holding the worst abusers and their enablers accountable. The situation in Gaza is shocking and truly unbelievable. There is a genocide underway before the eyes of the entire world, with Israel indiscriminately and deliberately bombarding civilians, deliberately starving civilians, depriving them of aid, depriving them of medicine, depriving them of water and electricity. And this is with the complete backing of the United States government. The most urgent need is for Israel to stop bombarding and murdering the people of Gaza and to end the blockade on Gaza, to allow humanitarian aid, food, medicine to get into the territory. We see our role as shaping the public discourse, educating the public about the facts on the ground, what international law requires. And I think that it's very clear to any observer that American public opinion has dramatically changed since the Gaza war. The majority of Americans, Republican and Democrat, do not want the U.S. government to provide military aid to Israel. The vast majority of Democratic voters want the U.S. government to dramatically change its policy with respect to Israel. That hasn't happened yet. Because both parties are beholden to their donors, their wealthy donors, many of whom are very, very pro-Israel. So I think it will take time for our elected officials to catch up to what their voters want, because they will find themselves losing elections fairly soon. Well, legal action is being taken against Israeli soldiers and officials, and that is at the International Criminal Court. There is an ongoing case at the International Criminal Court that really goes back to 2014, investigating war crimes, crimes against humanity, and other violations of the Rome Statute at the International Criminal Court. And the prosecutor of the International Criminal Court has sought an arrest warrant against both Prime Minister Netanyahu and Defense Minister Yoav Gallant. We are very hopeful that these two Israelis will not be the only two Israelis who are indicted and prosecuted by the court, but that it will include many, if not all, of the commanders and soldiers involved in heinous atrocities in Gaza. The United States has a robust war crimes law that should allow the United States to prosecute any war criminal in the United States, including Americans who participate in war crimes abroad. I have not yet seen America's war crimes prosecutor, there's a special office for that, bring any charges against American soldiers who have fought with the IDF. But I'm sure that is hopefully not far behind. Number one, the court of the ICC can issue the arrest warrants against Netanyahu and Gallant. It is shocking and appalling that they have not yet answered the prosecutor's request for arrest warrants. I think these arrest warrants would have a tremendous impact on other Israeli officials who may think twice about continuing to pursue their genocidal atrocities in Gaza, knowing that they too can be arrested anywhere in the world and sent to The Hague for prosecution. I am actually just publishing a book on that very question about how to end Israeli occupation and apartheid and transition into a rights-respecting state. My book with my co-author, sets out a detailed plan to end the occupation and apartheid and to ensure that the rights of the people living under Israeli sovereignty are respected. We are very hopeful that our plan will replace the now dead Oslo process to come up with a real plan that will protect the safety and security of Palestinians and Jewish Israelis alike. I guess what I would say is this is first and foremost about Gaza and the Palestinian people who are being murdered by the Israeli government. But it's a lot more than just about the people of Gaza. This is about international humanity and the survival of international law. We have witnessed the complete disregard and disrespect for international law by Israel and the United States in supporting Israel's gruesome atrocities in Gaza. We do not want Gaza to be the graveyard of international law, because if it's a graveyard for international law for Palestinians, it's a graveyard for international law for people around the world. So either we come together as a collective humanity, states around the world, to bring this war to an end and to punish the perpetrators, or we all lose, and it will be really free reign for the war of the jungle, for the lawless land of atrocities, because every war criminal in the world will see that Israel is getting away with it, that the United States is supporting it. And why should they respect international law if the world superpower is supporting war crimes somewhere else? So really, the whole world loses if we allow the genocide in Gaza to continue. I think there's some difference, but it's not a lot of difference. I think that Harris administration will at least do more to get humanitarian aid into Gaza, may continue trying to pressure Israel to end this war, and probably take a lot of steps to try to slow down Israeli annexation of Palestinian territory. I think President Trump would take away any restraint, not that there's been too many, but any restraint on the Israelis. He has already said that he wants to help Israel finish the job, get the job done in Gaza, which can only mean the complete extermination and displacement of the Palestinian people there. And I am certain that he would support Israeli efforts to annex most, if not all, of the West Bank. We are focused on accountability. We were the first organization to submit dossiers on 43 Israeli soldiers and commanders for atrocities in Gaza, and we submitted those dossiers back in December of last year. We were the first organization to call for a ceasefire on Gaza on October 9, because we knew that the outcome is exactly what we're seeing today, the absolute devastation and destruction in Gaza. We were the first major organization to describe what is happening, to document what's happening on the ground in Gaza as a genocide. And in these actions, in these efforts, we tried to build a broader coalition of other organizations of civil society who are saying what we're saying and making the demands that we're making on our government. We are also seeking to hold accountable those people in the United States, the lobbyists for Israel, the agents of Israel, the financiers of Israel, accountable for aiding and enabling the genocide in Gaza. I welcome Turkey's leadership on a recent letter to the UN Security Council demanding implementation of an arms embargo against Israel, signed by 50 other countries. What I would say is to everybody who's watching this, please understand that it is your personal responsibility to be involved to stop this. Ultimately, our governments are mere tools, and we are the citizens of the world. We have a responsibility to do everything we can in our power to dedicate our free time and our space to ending the genocide in Gaza. Every single person in this world has a responsibility, no matter where they live.